So you have to add this 3D car to this photograph. They've given you the photo and the HDR, and your job is to bring the car into the photographic world. We jump to Maya, we set the project. First thing we're going to do is create the camera. I'm going to raise it up 106 centimeters, and I'm going to rotate it down in X just a little bit, because that is what I know the camera, about the angle that the camera was at. And so that's just a good starting place from the beginning. Then, in the Attribute Editor, I'm going to add the image plane. This is my preferred method for adding image planes for compositing. For modeling, I might use any of the other methods of creating an image plane, but for compositing, I still like this one because it just has a few more controls that make sense with the image plane for this. I go to grab the photograph. Boom. I want to be able to look through this camera and have it fit my resolution and my film gate. And right now it doesn't fit either one. So I'm going to open up my render settings, and my photo is 4000 by 3000. So I set that, and you can see, boom, already it's fitting my resolution gate, but not my film gate. So I'm going to take the device aspect ratio, since it's 4 by 3, 1.33, in my attribute editor for the camera. I'm going to set the film aspect ratio to the aspect ratio of my image. And then jump back to the image plane, and I like to tell it to fit to resolution gate, and I'll also turn on that mask. I'll give myself 2 panels. So now I'm ready to model the geometry of this desktop. And that's just going to be a cube. Create polyprimitive cube, raise it up, scale it up, flatten it down, and start moving it into position. I'm going to do one more thing with this image plane. I'm going to scoot it back, because right now, as I get this to be a pretty big object, it's only 100 centimeters away from the camera. So I'm going to set that to, I don't know, 2000. 2000, there we go. So already it feels like it has the right sort of spacing, or the right scale to the room in terms of the way it moves through it. But I need to line the camera up to match this. One of the mistakes a lot of people make is they start changing the cube to try and match it to the, they start trying to change the cube to try and match it to the desktop. That's not what you want to do. You want to actually adjust the camera, and the first thing you want to think about is the vanishing points of the image you have. And you can see the vanishing points off into this direction. So this is going to be one of our main lines of perspective that we want to match. Now, you can try your best to match it in here, and you can sort of get a pretty quick, wow, that was actually shockingly lucky. It's never usually that quick from this. I'm going to quickly throw a bookmark on that, or 3. The first 3 are going to be that. But the fine tuning, you can see it's really fiddly to get that in the last little bit. So that's when, rather than tumble around in the viewport, I grab the rotate for the camera and very gently start to adjust, trying to get the edges. And at this point, I'm going to be typing in to the attribute, into the channel box. Rotate Y. Let's try -11. It's still a little too far down this way. So at this point, I might do just a little Z rotation. Z is always what you want to do last. You try not to ever have any Z rotation when you're holding the camera. You're trying to get it as flat as possible. But we are human, so we're always off by a teeny bit. And then I'll move it over. I'm going to go to world. instead of object for a moment, because I want to raise my camera up just a hair. There, so now I'm sinking that down a little so that fits better into where that is in the world. I was lining it up with the bottom of the cube. It needs to be lined up with the top of the cube. Okay, so now I've got that nicely lined up. So I am zooming out. What I'm not liking about this right now is that this board is about the right proportion in the real world, but way off when it fits just here. So I know that scale's not right. It should be something much more like this. So that means my camera's pretty much in the wrong place. So I'm going to go back and try again. Maybe move my camera away a little bit. That feels much better in terms of getting this object with the right dimensions scaled into the photograph. That means my car is going to move along the desktop much more realistically, or fit in if it does any movement across the plane. Okay, I really like that. That looks like a great fit. My camera is set. I'm going to bookmark it. Then I lock all of its channels. Lock selected. There we go. Now I can't move that camera anymore, and that's a good thing. Next thing I want to do is assign the matte shadow